Now, there are some details that you need to be careful about when using resolution. One of them is a clause can be used multiple times. It's not like you are using them and destroying them. Okay, so whatever premises you have, you can use them over and over again if you need. Okay, so here's an example. I show that the argument P implies Q and P implies R and P entails Q and R. Okay, so in the other notation, this should be P implies Q, P implies R, P, therefore Q and R. Okay, this is the notation we use for arguments. Um, so here, your first premise is, well, get rid of the implication, so that is not P or Q. The second one, again, an implication, so that should be not P or R. The third one is just P. And then these are the original premises. And the final one, you see, I have this conclusion here. So what I do is I negate the conclusion and add it to the list of premises, not Q or not R, because, well, when you apply the Morgan's rule to this, to negate this, you get not Q or not R. Since it's in closed form already, you don't have to break them. Okay, if you end up with ends here, you'll have to break them into multiple premises. Okay, now, so this is the setting where I am going to apply resolution. Let's go step by step. If you resolve these two, you'll just get Q. And then I can use this again, okay? I had I had used this to resolve these two, but this is not annihilated, okay? It doesn't disappear from the list of premises. So I can use it again uh, to resolve it with this one, which gives me R, okay? And then these two literals, I resolve these two premises. So this is left, not R. And finally, you resolve these two and end up with the contradiction, which shows you that the original argument was valid. Okay, so this shows you that you can use a clause multiple times if you need. Again, another rule is not all clauses need to be used. You don't need to exhaust them. You are just trying to end up with this empty clause, because if you're left with some extra clauses that you didn't use, it's just, let's say, premise one, premise two, and you end up with the empty clause. What is this? This is essentially P1 and P2 and a contradiction. This is contradiction. Therefore, this is, since they are ended, this leads to a contradiction. So these being left out is no problem at all. Okay, if you end up with the empty clause using any set of premises, you are fine. Okay, you don't need to use them all. You don't need to annihilate them. You don't need to exhaust them. You just need to end up with the empty clause. Okay. Another important point is do not resolve multiple rituals from a pair of clauses at the same time. Okay, this is an important point, and I have seen this mistake done a lot of times in the earlier editions. A simple example, consider the pair of literals, the pair of premises, let's say, P or Q and not P or not Q. P or Q, not P or not Q. These are my premises, let's say. Okay, I'm going to apply resolution on these. Um, Now, if you just resolve them using two pairs of, or two pairs of literals, P and Q at the same time, okay? P along with this not P disappears, Q along with this not Q disappears. So most students, they are tempted to just write empty clause at this step, just be hasty and okay, so everything is canceled out with everything else, so this is empty clause. But this is incorrect. Why? If you do it one by one, what you are left with is you have P or Q, not P or not Q. Let's say you resolve these two literals, and what you end up with is just one premise, P or not P. P or not P itself is a tautology. Okay? From this, you cannot go to a contradiction, right? Therefore, you see, when you do such a thing, you directly go to an unintended result. Okay? So you should end up with P or not P, or Q or not Q, which you cannot go further. Okay? You cannot resolve this by itself. So since this is, well, this doesn't lead to the empty clause, uh, this here is not the way to do it. So let me just repeat this. Do not resolve multiple riddles from a pair of clauses at the same time. Do every literal one by one. That's the safe way to go. Okay? But this is important. Yeah, these are the three rules I would like to emphasize about resolution in the context of propositional logic. And later on, we will also study resolution in the context of first order logic too.